If you watched my last video called Is It Time to Fire Your Accountant? I gave you some red flags to look out for to know whether you can move on with a clear conscience. If you haven't seen that one, make sure you do. In this one, I'm going to show you how, even though you may not realize it or intend it, it could actually be you, or you're the reason that your relationship with your accountant isn't better than it is. Coming up, I'm going to give you 9 tips so you can decide whether you are that pain in the you-know-what client. So you need to know whether it's time to change your accountant or change your attitude. Coming up. How many times have we been dissatisfied with a supplier or service, replaced that supplier, and then in no time found that we're dealing with the very same issues that made us replace the first supplier in the first place? Because most providers or suppliers or business owners want to be professional, they're unlikely to call us out on our crap. So we go through completely oblivious to the consequences of our actions and how they impact ourselves as well as others. Now let's face it, changing providers or suppliers or getting your stock from a different place, it's a hassle. So if you can avoid it and resolve, why not do it? So, number 1, your accountant has to remind you over and over repeatedly to send in or to turn up with your paperwork. And when you do finally do it, there's such little time left, it's a mad panic to get any of your returns done in time to meet deadline. When it comes time to do your returns or your taxes, you have little or absolutely no bookkeeping whatsoever. So you present your accountant with a tangled mess that they have to unravel, or absolutely nothing and they have to start from scratch. Now, do you do this one? You try and get advice or services over and above what you agreed. Do you ever catch yourself starting a conversation with your accountant or starting an email with words such as, just a quickie, or I hope you don't mind, I just thought, or while you're doing that? If you do, see how many times or how often you do it. Is it possible that you're taking Number 5, you rarely pay your fees on time, or you never pay them unless you get a reminder. Maybe you need to negotiate some sort of installment plan. Number 6, which is not dissimilar to number 4, you've managed to successfully negotiate a lower fee or a fee that you think is reasonable to pay, but somewhere in there you've kind of keep trying to get a higher value service, and you don't really like it when you're not back. This is classics. You don't follow any of the advice you're given, but yet every year or every time you meet, you have the same issues, the same worries, and the same complaints. Number 9, you've worked your way through a number of accountants. 2 or 3 in the space of as many years is a lot, to be honest with you, because that means you're changing every time there's an issue. And number 9, which is a real honesty one, this. Deep down, you resent having to pay for accountancy services. You see it as a necessary evil. So no matter what your accountant does, it's probably never really going to impress you, because it's money you think you could be spending elsewhere. Now, if you recognised yourself in any of those, it's okay. You can hold your head up now. Lightning is not going to strike you where you sit, I promise. Well, I can't promise, but I doubt it. I really just wanted to highlight that there are 2 sides to every coin, and there's no harm sometimes to just recheck what our perceptions, our expectations, and in turn our behaviours are, and how that impacts on the service that we get from the people that we pay to help us. So if you're feeling a bit guilty, don't. Life gets in the way. We're busy people, and let's face it, being an entrepreneur much of the time is no walk in the park. is hard work. It's easy to overlook some things that are just fundamental that you wouldn't overlook if you had time to stop and breathe. So, make me a little promise. The next time you're cursing out your accountant, stop, count to 10, and look really honestly and think, what am I doing to contribute to this situation? And if it is you, do as the great Dizzy Rascal said, fix up, look sharp. Or if you're my son, fix up, look sharp. Alright, so if you found this useful, please do share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. And if you want more tips, updates and free stuff, please go over to www.financialgymforbusiness.com. And remember, you don't have to be a financial expert to be the financial leader in your business. See you again. Have a great day.